Hi everyone. So welcome back once again for another stocks by request where we double down and we talk about the top stocks that you guys have requested via social media. For this video, I want to talk about APL, BSE, BDO, SM, DITO, PHA, and SM Prime. And we're going to talk about the index too. So please do note that right after this, we're going to have another video coming out or an hour maybe after this in my second channel to talk about the other stocks. So there was quite a lot of volatility, especially yesterday when we saw those stocks that relatively just had bigger, better price movements but didn't have a lot of fundamentals. When selling started to happen, that's when you saw stock started to drop, and we're going to analyze all of this from a technical analysis point of view. But before that, allow me to look at the PSEI first to give you context also on how it is, where it's going, and how it's progressing. So the PSEI for the day, no, January 22, closed, if you see it, lower at 7,045. It's down 1.32%. And since it is down 1.32%, you will see it here in the chart that it's trying to attack the support range here. The support is at 7,040, which as it closed at 7,045, it is hovering at that particular support level. So a couple of things that I would want to note out from this range that I mentioned for the PSEI. So resistance 7,307, hindi siya nabasag kaya siya bumababa. Then it's below the 20-day moving average. Then today it's below the 50-day moving average. You have the 7,040 support level trying to protect it. If the PSEI does not hold on to the 7,040 level, then there's a possibility that we could see it retrace here to the 6,700 level. But as of now, the PSEI is still moving on its sideways progression. GMMA is about to cross lower. MACD, as you can see, it's showing us weakness already. So next week, if the PSEI goes lower than the 7,040 support level, possible retracement for the index could be at the 6,735 level or that particular range. So I hope you guys are learning, and I hope that this is something that's helping. Now, conscious to those watching in YouTube, I'm doing this while I'm doing Kumu. So first time ko mag-Kumu, conscious pag live siya. I'm doing Kumu kasi I saw Salve do Kumu. So I wanted to try it out. Is this something that's interesting? But anyways, so I'm going to talk about APL, BSE, BDO, SM, DITO, PHA, and SM Prime. So let's start it first with APL because it had the largest value turnover. APL is down again today, 7.25%. But value turnover was big again, 1.5 or 1.6 million pesos. It closed 32 cents. So I wanna share this that though from a chart perspective, we posted this yesterday, 0.29 support. And if you will look at it very, very clear today, January 22, that it closed lower. And as it closed lower, it went below, it intraday went lower to the 0.29 support level. As it went lower from that particular level, intraday, you saw it start to push up. And as you saw it start to push up, it closed at the 0.32. So that being said, pasok ulit siya dito sa range natin, 0.29, 0.45 range for APL. One thing that I would like to note though is that the close today made it deviate from the uptrend that we're currently seeing right now. So the close here is lower than the uptrend. And should that happen, there's a possibility that if the 0.29 support level will hold, then we could possibly see it somehow, some way, start to consolidate in this level. Support 0.29, resistance 0.45. For those of you watching from Kumu, you can just reference the charts and open it also while I'm doing this. But anyways, if 0.29 does not hold, the possibility of it retracing to the 0.196 level is possible. By the way, intraday today, it got protected by the 20-day moving average. It hit that level, boom. Then it started to push up and it started to go above the 0.29 support. So APL 0.29 support, it's holding. If it holds 0.29, resistance 0.445. If 0.29 does not hold, Next support level is 0.196. So that's where APL is. By the way, for those watching me for the first time, please never ever buy a stock just because it's talked about in YouTube. Never buy, sell, hold, or avoid the stock just because it's talked about. What's so important is you analyze it on your own. What's so important is you take the responsibility and you take the time to be able to build the rudiments, to be able to decide and to be able to trade and to be able to buy and sell also out of your own analysis. Never ever just transact or buy this just because pinag-usapan ko dito. You have to spend the time to be able to build your own analysis into it. And what's very, very important, especially sa stock market, is you building your own buy and sell signals. Anyways, let's look at BSC. For BSC, this is how it looks. 0.775 support. Today, at least from an intraday standpoint, it bounced here. As you can see, intraday you saw BSC go as low as 0.92, but as you can see also here, it has a support level at 0.775, got also protected by the 20-day moving average. So I just want to note this also, that it has a resistance here at the 1.91 level. So current movement for BSC 0.775 support. That does not hold, then possibility for it to retrace close to the 50-day moving average, which is at the 0.518 level. So current narrative, BSC 0.775 support. That does not hold. Next support level is 0.518. 0.775 bounce. Resistance is at the 1.91 level. Medyo malayo nga lang yung spread nun. So I don't know if the possibility of it going back at that particular level currently, at least for the next few days, is possible. Please do note, the more speculative the stock, the more that there's volatility also. And anytime that there's bad news also, it may cause a sell down as well. And that's what we also saw from last week. Now let's move on to something that's relatively bigger, better, stronger from a fundamental standpoint. We're talking about the largest bank in the Philippines, BDO. BDO today closed at 111.1. It's slightly lower at 0.80, close lower at 0.8%. Value turnover is 560 million, but it's still hovering in the same support and resistance level that we have been talking about over the past few days. Support is at the 20-day moving average at 108. Resistance is at the 114, 115 level. So currently, walang nagbago for the whole week. Main support level for BDO is 98.9. Main resistance level for BDO is 114, 115. Main support, or at least short-term support level, as confirmed by the 20-day moving average, is the 108, 109 level brought about by the 20-day moving average. So BDO close to the 20-day moving average, still sideways. Resistance is at the 115 level. So check nyo if this is a good tradable range for you, if this is something that you may like, given that it's around 3 or 4% lang yung particular margin niya. But kung susukatin nyo rin, it's a bit far already from the main support at the 98.9 level, at least for BDO. So there. Next stock is SM. We're gonna go to another C stock. SM, same thing, consolidating. SM, same thing. Main support level is at the 1,030 mark. Two things though that I'd like to mention today. It closing at 135 shows it that it's lower than the 20-day moving average, shows that it's lower than the 50-day moving average. And that being said, if you'll also look at the MACD, it's showing you some, at least a cross lower. So SM, as of today, January 22, lower than the 20-day moving average, lower than the 50-day moving average, and then MACD showing you a change of direction. At least, hindi yan, nangyari na pala dito. So what we're actually seeing right now is just a continuation of what this is actually showing us. So for SM, I just like to note that if the 130 level does not hold, possible narrative for it to retrace will be here, 966. Bounce will just bring it back here to 11. But nothing has changed from the last time we did the video. For SM, it's still sideways. 1,030 is your level of support, something that you should watch out for. Again, bounce from that, you could possibly see SM go to 11. Failure to hold the 1,030 level naman will bring SM to 966. But even though if it goes to 966, I just like to note this, SM is still moving sideways. So SM has been in that progression since November 2020. So it's been more than, so roughly around whole of November, whole of December, and it's pushing around the third month already of it consolidating and moving sideways. There. So next stock is dito. Comment below if you're learning and comment if this is something that's helping you. And mga nasa Kumu. First time ko mag-Kumu. It's so interesting mag-Kumu. Dito, closed 12.3, up 1.65%. Value turnover is 533 million. And what it did though is it's the second day again for Dito at least to be back up again on this support level. 11.37 support, 14 peso resistance, consolidation 11.37, 14. That's its sideways progression. It's above the 50-day moving average. So walang nagbago also for dito. The channel where it has been moving is still consistent. If it continues to hold above this 11.37 level, then the resistance at 14 also is very, very possible that it could hover and move at that particular level. So should there be a breakdown by next week, I'll still update you, but this is the current progression as of today. Next is PHA. So PHA, value turnover of PHA is 418 million, change is 14.78, closed at 2.64. As you can see right here, no, what I mentioned yesterday was there was a short-term support around here, and this is the uptrend that we saw. So today, no, it touched it. If you look at it, 2.35 low, intraday low. It went as close as it can be dun sa upward trending slope na to. As you can see it right here, after hitting that intraday boom, it bounced a bit to close at the 2.64 level. So currently, this particular trend line is holding up. One thing to note again for PHA, should there be any downward movements for next week, because it's very, very close to the 2.9 peso resistance level. So please remember, it's all about support and resistance. It's all about buying and selling. So as of now, PHA, the upward trend is holding. It's still above the 20, 50, and 100-day moving average. It's still also above this particular support level, but it's very, very close already to the 2.9 peso resistance. So just a word of caution, please do note that at the resistance, it's a place where people are selling, and the more sellers, more sellers bring prices down, and that's a characteristic of resistance. Lastly, SM Prime. SM Prime is still falling because of its failure to break out of the 39.87 resistance. It's already below the 20-day moving average. It's already below also the 50-day moving average. And it opened at 38.5, close at 37.6. Boom, large drop, failed to break the 39.87, and today, for the first time, it broke below the 50-day moving average. So please do note that SM Prime has not broken the 50-day moving average, below the 50-day moving average, since October 13, 2020, and this is the first time that it has done so. So again, should selling continue, possible narrative, possible drop of where SM Prime could go is at the 34.8 level. I just want to note this, that GMMA is showing us across, and please do note that a couple of weeks back already, which denoted yung sideways movement also, or change of direction of SM Prime, was around November that it started to move sideways right after there. So as of now, even though it's below the 20, it's below the 50, the current range and the current trajectory is still moving sideways. So 34.8 support, 39.87 resistance. However, there's a more bearish undertone because GMMA crossed, the candlestick dropped below the 50-day moving average. It broke down below the 20-day moving average as well. So should selling continue, next possible support level is at the 34.8 mark. So there, we talked about in this video APL, BSE, BDO, SM, DITO, PHA, SM Prime. And in the next video, we're going to talk about PLDT, ALI, AC, MRC, ICT, JFC, then maybe BPI and ASEN as well. So again, please do not buy just because we talked about it here. Please do your own research and do your own due diligence. For those who want to know more about me, in the description below are the books that I've written, the YouTube playlist that I have, and the seminars that I am conducting as well. So everything is in the description below. I hope you guys learned a lot from this, and I hope that this is something that is insightful and gives you enough value to trade the markets with confidence. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all. So we're done. So people from Kumu, thank you so much. I don't know kung may ambag to sa inyo, kung meron kayong